Hey there. In this video, we're going to talk about the Starfield mission First Contact, which I think is one of the coolest concepts for a mission that I've encountered so far in game, and how the different ways that can be resolved, how to do these things, and what juicy rewards you might get for it. So, at first, all you see is that there's an unidentified object flying in space over a colonized world. uh, Limited communication from the object, and the people on the planet want you to check it out. It doesn't really matter who you contact first. I chose to contact the people on the ship first. Either way, you eventually wind up on the ship and you talk to them, and you find out that they are colonists who, believing Earth was going in an extinction path, left Earth before faster than light travel was invented and took several hundred years to get here, just living and dying on the ship. And these are the great grandchildren of the original visionaries who set forth, only to find out that humanity got a lot faster and a lot less extinct than they had originally expected, and already turned the planet they had hoped to make the last bastion of humanity on into a luxury paradise resort. So when you talk to the commander of the ship, Diana Brackenridge, she makes it clear that they're pretty dead set on colonizing the planet anyway. They've had that as their singular goal through many, many generations. And they feel that they have a legal claim to the planet because they filed paperwork about it before they left Earth several hundred years ago. Obviously, that's been discarded or forgotten about by now. Nobody actually expected them to still be alive or even remembered that they existed, but they feel they have a rightful claim, and they even imply that they are willing to fight for it with their old Earth weapons, which certainly are still very good at killing. She will say that she might be begrudgingly amicable to some sort of a compromised, separate colonies situation or something like that, depending on how things turn out. And ultimately, they just want you to be their liaison and go negotiate some terms with these people. So, when you go down planet side, you'll make your way down to the Paradiso Resort, where after talking to a few people, you will be directed to a board meeting where you can discuss terms with CEO Oliver Campbell. When you talk to him, it's made clear they certainly have no interest in sharing the resort or giving up the space. They're not even willing to share the planet that they are not currently using. And they just want the ship gone. And they really just want to minimize the costs of making the ship gone, also, like a very corporate standpoint. A couple options are presented here. You can tell them that they are allowed to come down as indentured servants, where to pay off the cost of being accepted onto the planet, they will toil for corporate profit for the rest of their days. You can get their ship outfitted with an antique grav drive compatible with their older systems that will allow them to just immediately go find another planet that's also suitable, and they could colonize there instead. Um, but you have to foot the cost of the bill out of your own pocket, because the extra moral standing they don't care about at all. They're like, if you want them to be happy, you got to pay out of pocket. Or you can go off the books and just blow their ship up and kill all of them and make it look like an accident. And they're perfectly happy with that as well. They really don't care, like, at all. So, in terms of how this conflict can be resolved, you can resolve it in any of the ways presented by CEO Oliver Campbell, and absolutely zero of the ways suggested by Captain Diana Brackenridge. This seems really weird to me. I had thought that this was a sort of a quest where there would be options favoring the colonists, options favoring the resorts, and maybe like a secret third ideal option where you pulled all the right strings and had really high persuasion and got the good rolls, and then, got them to actually work together. But despite Diana Brackenridge having originally even said that she would go to war over this planet, and risk the lives of her people, so committed she is to the cause, she will just agree automatically to any of corporate's options. You just go up to her and be like, "Hey, how about y'all be indentured servants?" And she's like, "Wow, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you for being our diplomat." But that's the options available, 3 CEO options, and that's it. So let's go over those one at a time. So, option one, making them all servants. They will accept this situation without any real contest. However, they will still need a planet side shelter to complete the deal. And despite the fact that they will be working basically for free for like the rest of their lives, corporate is still unwilling to foot the bill for the cost of shelter, and you have to pay for it out of pocket. You can, through the use of persuasion, convince them to foot the bill for about half of their new home, but ultimately you are going to have some iron, some fiber, some sealant, and some lithium. If you don't have these in your inventory, you can find fiber and sealant in shops in the system. And if you check out Parima 1 and 2, you can find the rest of your ingredients without actually having to leave the system and just go scavenging for them. Once you complete this, Oliver Campbell will congratulate you and go on about how happy he is that he got to fire most of his paid staff and replace them with the indentured servants, and is just really happy that you saved corporate so much money. So, option two, replace the grav drive. You will have to leave the system for this one, travel a fair distance to Violi, where you will contact an engineer named Bennu St. James. Now, they have the grav drive and they are willing to install it, but they want 40,000 credits. You can, with a persuasion check, get that down to 25,000, but it's still a pretty good chunk out of your pocket, more than you will be paid for the mission. You then have to travel back to the system and help them install it through a little mini game where you follow very specific instructions, but on the computers, the options presented to you will have a lot of things that are very, very similar to your instructions, so it's easy to get confused. If you have the ship's engineer perk unlocked, the correct option will be highlighted, making it very easy. Or you could just write it down so you don't get confused. It's really not that hard. Um, and then they will thank you and they will travel on to a new system. Some point later in the game, you will be contacted by them and be able to go rendezvous with them again a bit of a distance farther out, and they will give you a little bit of dialogue about their journey and how they're still looking for their forever home, but they're thankful at how much faster they're now able to be looking. So, option three, just blow the ship up. You dock with them, they welcome you in. You have to go to the engineering room and get a key off of the chief engineer to access the computer to instruct their reactor to overload. This can only be acquired by pickpocketing, so if you don't have an available skill point and you don't have the pickpocketing skill, you're going to have to go somewhere and level up before you can do this. For some reason, they made the chief engineer unkillable, so you can't, even though you're going to actively kill everyone on the ship, you cannot seize that key with a gun. You have to use the stealth option. I don't quite understand why, but that's how it is. Then you go up to the bridge, you hack the bridge computer, which is surprisingly under encrypted, and then you just get off the ship, you watch it blow up, you go back to Oliver Campbell, he'll give you 6,500 in cash, and you go on your way. So all three quest lines will result in the player getting 300 experience points. The first two options, which involve the colonists being left alive, the colonists will be the ones to reward you. They will give you a collection of old Earth artifacts, which you can use as decorations, or you can sell them for a decent chunk of change. Nothing crazy, but a decent amount. It is not enough to cover the cost of the grav drive if you took that option, but it does help mitigate the costs a bit. They will also pay you a fairly nice handgun and some bullets. If you take option three and you kill the colonists, Oliver Campbell will pay you for taking care of the problem in an amount of $6,500. and you will see an option to try and intimidate him for more money. If you take that option, he will basically laugh you out of the building and tell you that he's going to pay you nothing at all. So thank you all for watching. If you feel like doing me a solid, likes, comments, subscribes all really do mean a lot to me. And if you have any opinions about this game, about this commentary, this mission, or anything I missed, please feel free to add it in the comments. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.